So thank you, Sakura.
Everybody.
And everybody who worked on it, wherever you all are. Yeah. So it's actually nice, it's just a group of people getting together and saying, we have some ideas that we want to put into practice in the West, well, let's make it ours, but also not lose where they came from, just in case. And you're all doing really well, so thank you very much. Look at you. We're going to start by, I'm going to ask you to just consider that in the next 2 hours, for those of you who have heard me say this every class, wake up. Yeah. For those of you who haven't, just think how magical it can be. No, joking. I want you to really think about the next 2 hours, honestly, of your consciousness, of your awareness. You have the potential right now to walk into the seeds of the future you, the future person who thinks a specific way, who you know how you respond to your world quite naturally. That didn't just happen. You made that happen a long time ago by what you chose to think about and what you chose to do in your world. What you choose to say and do and think produces how you seem to respond to the world right now. You just can't remember what you did to think about the world, the way you're reacting to it right now or responding to it right now. In the next 2 hours, you've got the potential, if you focus, to really put into place a bunch of seeds that could ripen into your world becoming a better place, a more magnificent place, a more insightful place, a place where you find meaning, where you find answers, when you find joy, you find the ending of suffering. You can do that if you focus. Nobody else can do it for you. Otherwise the Buddha or all the other masters would have done it for you. You've got to do it. It's somewhere inside of you. So I'm going to invite you, please, whatever you do to trick yourself to say, what if this was the elixir? What if one idea hit me properly today? Yeah? Now I can't make that happen. I'm just going to go blah, 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 blah all the time. But something about your capacity to pay attention and your capacity to think, what if I'm not just normal? What if this is fixable? What if that was true? What if all the hopes of us as children were true? That there is a magic available to us. And some people find it, and I hope you do. But you've got to try it. Don't get complacent. Don't think it's normal. Give yourself 2 hours. Yeah? So think about why you're here. What's your motivation? What's your space of mind? And then expand it a little bit. Challenge the limiting thinking and be vulnerable to yourself. Nobody needs to know. Yeah? Because nobody else can fix it. So to do that, we do a bunch of traditional things to begin the class. And one of them is creating a perfect world. We do this whole blah, blah. And we offer it to whatever a teacher is for you, whatever an enlightened being is for you. And depending on your tradition or your ideas, it could be your mother, it could be your aunt, it could be your cousin, it could be a teacher from school, it could be the Buddha, it could be Jesus, anything. It could be an angel, but just picture whatever is true for you. Don't stretch so much that you think, oh, this is a cartoon character. Whatever is true for you, invite them to come. Whatever it is that makes your mind think, aha, invite them to come. So that you offer them, you're bribing them that through the blah blah you'll hear today, that they pinpoint something for you and say, that's for you, that one there is for you, that can change you. So ask for that when we do this, and then when we do that, we talk about going for refuge, which is there is a reason why the world appears to us that way, and there's a source, a code underneath it that can be decoded, and then this world can change for you from a suffering world to a magnificent world. It's possible. That's what we're here to learn. So let's begin. Thank you.
Sashi
Pukil Jishin Metokram Riral Inshin Indegim Pardi Sangye Shindil Mite Wargi Yohun Nanda Shinlaj Parsho Vidam Guru Ratnanda Kam Nilyatayami
Sangye
Shudan Zogi Jognam La Jamchu Ardu Dakni Gyatsuchi Daki Jinyen Gipe Zonam Ki Drola Penchir Sangye Drupasho
Sangye
Shudan Zogi Jognam La Jamju Vardu Dakni Gyapsuchi Daki Junyen Gipe Zonam Ki Drola Penchir Sangye Druparsho
Sangye
Shudan Zoki Joknam La Jamchu Bardu Dakni Gyapsuchi Daki Junyen Gipe Zonam Ki Drola Penchir Sangye Druparsho. That was a little nice, thank you. Okay, so we're going to do a little meditation before we learn how to meditate. So take a comfortable seated position, as comfortable as you can make it. The point is, try not to move. We'll be short because we'll cover it and we'll try it again in the second half of the class. Your hands can be on your lap, left palm first, right palm on top of your left. I'll cover it in a minute. Thumbs touching or on the side. The idea is not to drop your water bottle. And
Too late.
too late. Your collective water bottle. Okay, and just back straight, head looking forward, your eyes 45 degrees angle down, not fully shut, but not open enough to let detail in. And just scan your body for any tension beginning from your feet, your legs, your torsos, and relax anything that's tense. And as you relax, decide that that part of your body is firm just for a few minutes. You do not need to think about it, it will support you. As you move up your torso, imagine that there's a string pulling you up. It begins at the base of your spine, at the Muladhara chakra, somewhere in between your legs and in front of your spine, and it's pulling you up through your spine, coming out the top of your head, suspending you there in place, like some energies pulling you up and gravity pulling you down. You're floating in perfect suspension. Your shoulders are relaxed. Your frown is relaxed. The sides of your lips have a tiny smile which open up your nostrils. Your eyelids are relaxed. And all of a sudden, as if it's the very first time you've discovered it, you feel the breath entering your nose and exiting your body. This time I want you to imagine that there's a specific mass of air that fills your lungs and it stretches out like jello out of your nose, and that same air comes back in. Give it a slight color blue and breathe quite naturally without trying to control the breath, but just observe the very beginning of the breath as it exits your nostril. See how far out it goes and how far in it comes. Play with that with your mind's observation. See where you feel it. Next, I'd like you to imagine that if there was an evolved mind, a most evolved mind, a being who can reach enlightenment, wake up from this dreamlike state, that they come to you, that you ask them to please to come to teach you. And as soon as you think of them, they appear in front of you, seated, facing you in the same posture. And it's just you and them. If you can't get a clear image, just get a sensation of them being present in front of you. It should feel familiar, like they've always tried to reach you. Your mind recognizes something about them. Feel either a gravity in front of you or an image or a silhouette of them. Get as clear as you can. It's okay to scan them, the top of their heads, the way they're seated. If you see a smile, their eyes are looking at you with a special kind of love that understands exactly where you're at and can see through everything you want. And all they have for you is love. So you think of a special quality of their mind, something that you admire, and allow that feeling to grow in you, how special it is to have either wisdom or compassion or patience. Whatever quality you see in them as holy or special. Make them some kind of offering for coming all this way, for being by your side. It could be as simple as a rose petal. It could be as complex as the sun rising on the earth, warmth on your skin. Watch them as they feel the way you're processing inside without any judgment, just love for your efforts to improve. And that should make you want to make further steps. So you want to clear your conscience of anything that might be disturbing in the background. So think back in the last 24 hours of any moment in time where you had a negative state of mind. Maybe you were angry or jealous. Maybe you were happy when someone got something they wanted. Maybe you said something cutting to someone, and it just disturbed your state of being. So think through that. Understand that that doesn't help you, that it in fact causes more of the same to emerge in your mind. So generate a feeling of regret. This is not guilt, this is just intelligent regret that says, if I had been more aware, I wouldn't have felt that way. I wouldn't have lashed out at the world that way. And think that by having that awareness, you can make efforts in the future not to do that again, and your mind will be clearer. Your experience of the world will be more peaceful. And just take comfort in that you've cleaned something by that act. And this should naturally lead you to think back at the last 24 hours, at the most beautiful moment you've had, either towards yourself, your own mind, or towards people around you. Maybe you did some act of kindness and selfless act, or you had a moment of wisdom where you really made efforts to correct action in the world. Think back at your last 24 hours and pinpoint the moment where you did something positive in your world. You left someone happy, or you had the intention to make their world happy and meaningful. And just feel a joy in your heart grow. It's a special goodness to be able to do that. It colors your mind with the same flavor that will grow later. So just enjoy it. Feel happy. You've removed some suffering or added some goodness to the world. And as you're stepping into that space, allow yourself to feel that joy. Imagine all the other people in this very room feeling the same thing towards one or another person. Everybody here is focused on some goodness that they did. Feel happy for them. Feel a special joy that there are people in the world making the world a better place. And that you're close, that you are all close. Now look back up at your teacher or your guide and ask them please to always teach you, regardless of where you find yourself, that they may pop up as an idea, as a person, as words, as anything at all in your world, but always teaching you. And ask them to always stay. And as you ask them that, you watch them rise in front of you and turn to face the same direction you're facing. They begin to shrink down to the size of a thumb, and they find a place just above the tip of your head, the crown of your head. They sit there, condensed form of all the goodness you see in them. And imagine that their presence there helps you find in the next couple of hours the person that you can step into. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. That was a nice little meditation. Thank you for switching gears. Have the quizzes been complete? Good? Not yet? Let's do the quiz. For those of you who were not here, they're coming, right? Yeah, they're coming from the front. For those of you who were not here during the quiz, think of things you might like to purchase. That's a joke, don't do that. Really spend time thinking about what you went through in that meditation. Peter, can you help me for a second?
Sure, what do you need?
That Peter. Oh. Peter, can you, just the Tibetan in that letters? One, there's 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and the first one, just the Tibetan.
In that?
No, just like put it right back on the floor.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Just
Just the Tibetan. It says Chu, E, Chu without the dashes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This one?
Just spacing between Chu, E, Chu, Nu Chu,
Okay.
and Tang, Pa, Yu, Chung,
Okay.
and Ni, Ni, those two.
Some more on the back side.
Oh, I didn't press the double print. No, the last one is good. Okay. Thank you. I think if you don't see down there, Peter, do you know where they are?
Are you talking to me? No, I don't actually.
No? Okay.
No. Do you know
Might
where
be
they
in
are?
the bathrooms.
In the other room?
With the other room.
Yeah.
Peter, we found them. An important thing to think about if you're finishing your quiz or you're not doing it is again your motivation for being in the room. There's lots of people looking for things everywhere in Manhattan today, but there's these people here looking for something else, and I hope you find it. But if you know what it is, you're more likely to find it. What interests you about meditation? For me, it was a very low thing at the beginning. It was like, I just wanted to concentrate at work so I could make more money. That didn't work. I made more money, didn't concentrate, no. So think about it, what it is for you, because there are layers and layers the more you ask. So a good trick for you is to ask yourself why 7 times. You ask yourself, why am I meditating? And your mind will give you an answer, and you go, okay, maybe write it down. And then, why do I want that? And then you'll come up with some answer and your mind will give it to you because of what we talked about last week, the reticular activating system. And then you ask, why would I want that? What about that do I want? Do that 7 times, and the last 4 times or 3 times will be the right answer. Soy products. Okay, so if you've finished your quiz, great. If you haven't, great. We're talking about meditation. It's the 3rd of the Asian Classics courses. The first course talked all about what's Buddhism really, you know, and it talked about these 3 principal states of mind that you need to have to enter a Buddhist path. You don't have to be a Buddhist to have these states of mind, but that they could lead you out of suffering. And these were that the first thing is you look at reality as it is, you look at life as it appears, you look at it bluntly and clearly, and you realize there's some suffering in there. You don't shy away from it. And as the more you look at it, the more you realize the way you've been living doesn't quite work, and you get this state of mind called renunciation. Is that trying to get the things that I want and avoid the things that I don't want in the conventional way, getting happy by getting another girlfriend, another boyfriend, or getting more money or whatever, it just doesn't seem to work, because otherwise everybody who's got a girlfriend or boyfriend will be happy, or everyone that's got a girlfriend will get a job or not a job will be content, and there's just no contenting the human mind in that conventional way of approaching the world. So first of the three principal paths is renunciation. The second is, oh my God, shoes. No. Oh my God, I'm not alone. Look at all these other people trying the same way and not succeeding. Your heart opens up a little, and that thing's called bodhicitta. And you go, I want to figure it out for them too. I want to figure it out for me, and I want to figure it out for them too. And then when you begin to investigate, you see a code behind the way the world works, and that's called wisdom in Buddhism, which is a cinnamon. It's a spice. It's a spice from India. It's a cinnamon stick. It's like a bibliothèque. It's a.
I was waiting for it.
I know. I had to do it earlier. Yeah. It's a synonym for this idea of emptiness. You know, this big idea of emptiness, which we misunderstand so much in the West. So that's course one. Yeah. And then we talked about, well, understanding those three states of mind. If I can get a human mind to get that energy. Wow, I look at the world as it is, and it's shocking. There's very little hope if you look at the way the world works. A human life exists here. You can get temporary relief from pain, but it's only ever temporary. At the end of the day, you will get old if you're lucky, get sick but not too much if you're lucky, and you'll die. And as you die, you're all alone. No mother, no sister, no clothing, no job, no girlfriend, nothing you can take. Your mind begins to withdraw from this body, and then you have this experience for the first time for most people in your life that you are not your body, you're not this thing that you thought you'd been paying the mortgage for. And I guess this study is to prepare you for that. So these three states of mind is all about the mind. There's nothing in your world you're not perceiving that's not in your mind. So the study of meditation is really to say, let's slow things right down. Because we're in this cycle of being and existing that is so fast, we don't catch how things appear to us. Therefore, you can't figure out how to stop it, put a spanner in the cogs. Meditation lets you investigate your reality, and it's not easy. You come with an inertia of at least this life, unless you believe in past lives, and if you do, infinite number of lives, you come with that inertia like a massive train that all of a sudden something happened to it and said, I want to figure out what's happening here. Then you've got to slow it right down. Hence the importance of the practice of meditation. And it's a beautiful thing to do, but it sounds easy, right? How hard is it to just look at your mind? How hard is it? Just look at your mind. Come on, guys. There's a monkey in there. And he's very, very naughty. Well, this morning, so he's doing crazy things in there. Oh dear. So meditation is to say, hold on a second, can I slow this down, this thing that's happening to me and everybody else around me, and see how it's happening. The first time I started meditating was at the Three Jewels in 1995 or something, and I really did think I was going to learn to concentrate so I could get a better job and get more money, because that would make me happy. You know, and then this monk, Punsok, Venerable Punsok, challenged me. He said, you know, that Hector that you think is controlling your life, and I'm like, yeah, that one, the one that just decided to come here, what do you know? Already I'm putting him down, you know. He goes, where is he? Where is he? Well, he didn't say it in an Australian accent. He probably said some mixture of, anyway, accents. That was an aside. Yeah. And it was the first time in my entire life that somebody had given me an awareness that the mind perceiving experience, my world, was something that I could find. And then I thought, wow, I'm finding that thing, because if I can find that thing, I can control it, I can be really happy. And then he said, what is that without what it is interpreting? What is that mind, that thing that is hearing my voice right now and interpreting the meaning of it, that thing inside you somewhere or part of you somewhere, the thing making the connections, making the judgments right now, that thing, what is that thing if you remove sight from it, so it's not interpreting vision? What is it if it's not interpreting sound? What is it if it's not interpreting feeling and taste and touch? And I thought, easy, 5 minutes, we're done. And I'm here 16 years later or something. It's an incredible journey of who you are. And you get, if you try, you will get to places about the way your world is appearing to you that were always there, that you never stepped into. And it's an infinite journey of beauty and crazy monkeys. Like there's a jungle in there. As you step onto that boat to say, let me understand my inertia. So I hope that in this class you get whatever it is that turns you on to look at that, because there is nothing in your world, nothing at all, that is not being interpreted through your mind. And to not exercise that muscle is to waste a human life. To not exercise the capacity of that muscle is to waste a human life. So that's the bad news. The good news is that it's actually quite an interesting experience. And it gave me, for the first time, the capacity to see that there are things in my world that I can actually control. I can do some actions that later erupt as results of the courses that I've done. The way I look at the world, the habits that I put in this thing called the mind, emerge later as the inertia of that train next time. And in that sense, you have ultimate power over your destiny. If you can believe that there's something happening to your mind after your body dies and stops, then you've got the power to somebody else's destiny. That somebody else being you. So let's dive in, shall we? That was my motivational speech. No, what I'm trying to highlight is that it's extremely important to use this stuff. And if you're having trouble learning to meditate, of course you're going to have trouble learning to meditate. If you're having problems sitting down and being comfortable, of course you're going to have problems. Who does that? This is not normal. You know, like sitting here, it's not normal. This is anti-normal. That's the point. You want life to continue the same way as it continues for everybody out there, do the same thing, and you'll get the same result. You'll have to look for the next girlfriend and the next job and the next thing and the next medicine and the next wheelchair and the next thing, thinking that it's always out there, if you're not even looking at where it comes from. So this gives you real power. Yeah, and trying and failing, it's succeeding. Because the energy of trying is in itself a planting of powerful seeds in your consciousness that says, I want to figure this thing out. There's 20-something million people in New York. They're not in here. You know, look, you want something related to figuring it out. You got to think that the results of that want. That's a kind of wisdom to say, hold on, things aren't quite working. Let me try and figure it out. You could be drinking. You could be looking for more pleasures. You could be doing all sorts of things that don't work. Or you could slow it down and go, okay, let me really look at how my world is coming. And then it's a treasure chest of beautiful things. Discoveries about who you truly are. So we said that this class we're going to teach a couple of things. How to prepare for meditation. Remember that? We did that. Great. We're going to talk about the environment that's conducive for meditation. Great. We did that. 6 conditions. And today we're going to talk about the posture, the Vajrayana posture. How to sit in meditation. But before that, let me review the 6 preliminaries so you can make sure your quizzes are right, or if you've not been here, you can catch up. So the first thing is, what are the 6 preliminaries? There's 6 things you should do before you meditate, or whilst you begin to meditate. Clean up 2 things. You and your room, right? Brush your teeth. Clean you wake up, get clean, yeah? And then your room. Why a room? So what should be happening in your mind as you're cleaning your room?
You're preparing for a wonderful person.
You're inviting some special being of wisdom to come. Yeah, are they really going to come and go knock knock?
Maybe.
Yeah, right? That's an interesting question. Yeah? Who has met in their life a person who has said 1 or 2 words and then you get this rush of heat or something in your chest or in your thing, and it's not because you've fallen in love or anything, it's because they've said something that made a connection in your awareness and you're going, oh, how come I didn't think of that? And they were totally a teacher for you at that moment. Who's experienced that? Yeah? That's producible, that's reproducible, and that's what you're inviting, okay? For that to happen all the time. It's producible, it's reproducible, and that's what you're inviting. And how do you invite them? The intent begins it. So it's a real thing. Is wishing it and looking for it, is that it? Like fooling yourself that it's there, is that it? It's partly, you know, but you also know inside of you when you're full of bull. Yeah. So that's what you're doing. You're cleaning that and you're preparing the ground in your mind for that to emerge. What's the next thing you're doing? You're putting out offerings. Yeah, you're bribing them. Come, look. It's good. And there's a special kind of offerings. Come on Monday night, because whatever I taught you a couple of weeks ago is going to be rubbish compared to what you're going to get from a master, honestly. Yeah, because it's in that monastery that Geshe Michael learned what he taught me, and I'm sure I destroyed it already. So the next thing you do is you be careful. Think about it linearly. There's a problem in here in that we've got 2 lists. One is the steps of the preliminaries, which include sitting down, right? But what do you do before you sit down? You do a prostration. Excellent. Yeah, you're saying, okay. And what's the 3 prostrations mean? Because it looks weird for Westerners. What's it mean? Body, speech, and mind. Yeah, yeah. So you want to generate the body, speech, and mind of that kind of being in you. Yeah, hopefully with as big a motivation as you can, bodhicitta for those of us who know who are doing, and then you do 1 for the teacher, 1 for the teachings, and 1 for those that follow this teaching. And don't call it Buddhism, call it an understanding of reality, whatever the hell you want to call it, I don't care. Then you sit down, yeah, and you do, you go for refuge, you think of bodhicitta, which means, hold on, there is a way out of this. This understanding of emptiness has something to do with it. And then you go, hold on, I'm not alone. There are people in my world who need to understand why they're hurting in the world. And if I can figure it out through inside practice or something, I can really help them. So let me wish that I could reach a state of wisdom so I can help them. Then you visualize a merit field, which is what we did already, which is create a being in front of us that is the being towards which we're planting our mental actions, our karmas. Yeah. Then we purify our obstacles, which are those 7 ingredients. I won't go through them. And then in there you request for
more teachings and ask
yeah,
them to stay.
actually, exactly. You ask them for teachings, you ask them to stay, you do a mental offering, your mental prostrations, there's all these things in the 7 steps, and only then do you meditate. All that is to do what I tried to get you to do here before we walk in. Your mind is going in reverse 90% of the time, 99% of the time. Our minds are forced to react to a world that is that way. We have to slow it down and go, hold on, the world is different. I am imputing meaning on my world. So you've got to slow down the train. So all those practices, every single one of them are there for a reason. They're not like just some good, crazy list. They're there for a reason, and the reasons peel back like layers of an onion to reveal more and more meaning the more depth you get of this practice. So I didn't understand that at the beginning, and I hope I can share with you that if it doesn't sound like, why do you have to do it outwardly and then inwardly? And there's meaning, there's like a locked meaning in all this stuff, layer upon layer. It's actually quite beautiful because it lets you go to the next level of understanding of what? What do you think we're understanding? Your mind. Yeah, your mind. We're perceiving a perfect being, okay? Imagine a perfect being. Imagine not their physical appearance, imagine their mind. Imagine how they could look at a world and experience perfection. Your mind just did that. Your mind just took on a quality of what it focused on. Your mind just spent a millisecond on perfection. That's beautiful. So you're transforming your mind, you're transforming your consciousness through these practices. Every single bit is there for a reason. Hallelujah, page 1. Last week we did the 6 conditions of a good environment. Yeah, and you all did your quiz, so you'll know all your answers, and there's 3 texts that are important here. I'll get them out of the way now. Who's the author of one of the texts where these came from? Vasabandhu, Kamalashila, and Sangha. Good, that'll do it. Okay, what are the 6 conditions? What's the first one? Conducive place, right? And that has subset of 5. Welcome to Tibetan Gelugpa tradition. Give me the essence of a conducive place. Give me some of the 5. Feel safe. But originally it meant there's no lions getting you up, right? But for us it means that you don't want to have any alertness of your mind that's worried that leeches are getting you, or that things are getting at you. You want to allow your mind to be. So you don't want to feel threatened. What's another one? No interruptions, quiet. You don't want to see anybody, day or night. You don't want to hear stuff. Why? If you're trying to find the essence of that thing that is you, that interprets your whole world, and it has a monkey in it that is busy looking out of every window of the sense, it's looking at the sight window and out of the taste window for anything because it's been getting that all the time. A tinier sound in a silent mind will send that monkey to that window. You see? Go, what's happening over there? Did you all see over there? You're trying to slow it right down, and that thing isn't ready for that. That's the point of doing this. So you wheel the monkey back in. So you prevent it from getting distracted by creating an environment where it's not going to hear things or see things or smell things and so on. Yeah, that's good. That'll do it. What's the next of the 6 conditions?
Have everything you need.
Yeah, that's one of the 5, right?
Being contentment or just feelings?
Yeah,
Don't
be
have
satisfied, don't have too much, avoid things from the senses,
Have an ethical
Live
life.
simply.
have an ethical life. Why have an ethical life? That used to get me, you know. I grew up Catholic, the priest said don't, thou shalt, and I thought, what do you know? And it felt constrictive.
It's the cause for understanding your mind and emptiness.
What's an ethical life going to do? Why is it the cause of understanding highest wisdom?
Stills
You're
the
peaceful.
conscience.
Sorry?
You're peaceful. You don't have anything
You don't
in your mind.
you don't have any layers of excellent. You don't have anything untoward bubbling up inside of you. Those things that you know that you're hiding. You know, the things you do in private in your head. Oh, I wish nobody saw that I really wanted to push over the old lady to get to the front of the plane. You know, the things those things build momentum too. That's what an ethical life is, a focus on that and really turning that on, because you need a lot of power to turn the train around from the inertia towards where it's going. So the ethical way of life is cleaning up all the disturbances in the background that will prevent, the subtlest ones that will allow your mind not to be cleaned of your conscience not to be clean, let's say, yeah. And then the energy put into the planting of the energy put into living the opposite of the unethical life, right? To really ramp it up and say, hold on, I'm jealous when my friend gets something they want because I don't have it. Really, even if it's my best friend or my mum, there's a part of me that says, why didn't I get $2,000? There's a part of me that says that. Right? And really turning that around and saying, hold on, that state of mind produces a certain outcome. I don't want that outcome. Wouldn't I really want my friend to have what they want? What would it be like to be happy for your friends getting what they want? And then once you got that down pat, what would it be like to just see strangers getting what they want? And then smiles pop in the subway. You know, and so that really plants a different set of courses that will ripen in your mind. Ethical way of life, get rid of sense desires. Welcome to the class. I'm going to ask you to, I think I did the sales pitch to say why you should really try to meditate. You don't have another chance to focus on your mind. If you have a physical exercise, just like me, and you have such a strong body, I really work on my belly with little skips. If you exercise certain aspects of your life, exercise your mind. It is the thing that does everything else. Whatever you prioritize in your life, like pooping, you poop. And you go, oh, that's a priority. I've got to drop everything. I won't answer phone calls. I won't do emails. I've got to poop. You make it a priority. You go. How much does that help you? I mean, it does help you a lot. I got to admit. If you don't do it, it's terrible. but what I'm saying is, if we prioritize that, you know, and we prioritize sleep, and we prioritize food, and these are all things to look after that thing, and we know it's finishing. It's good to keep it healthy, it's excellent. But just compare the amount of time you give your body versus your mind.
Excellent.
Yes,
Isn't it a little hot in here?
it's very hot in here. Yeah. Can we put on the fans? Anyone else? Caliente?
See,
Por favor.
Poco.
Yeah. This will be the Spanish class.
Thank you.
I was going to say, Lama Murid says meditating should be like going to the bathroom. You should think, I better do this, otherwise I might have a
Block
mistake.
up.
Have a mistake and embarrass myself.
Oh, good. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. But it is that. You see, it is the thing that is interpreting everything about your world, and you don't put any effort onto it. So, I tried. The first thing you've got to do is learn how to meditate, and I'm glad you're here. So that's number one. There's a right way to meditate, and there's an incorrect way to meditate. And we are in the West, and we've just received all these teachings from the East over the last, 30, 40 years. And there's some mistaken ideas around meditating. So I hope we're clearing them up as we go. Meditating on nothing doesn't help you. Meditating on a physical object outside of you, looking at a candle, doesn't help you except to get you focused. Yeah? There's things about meditating that won't help you. The practice of meditating will help you, because your mind is interpreting your world. So today we're going to talk about the posture, and there's reasons for the posture being in a certain way, some of which I can't talk about. I just got to tell you that's what it is, and some I can, and I've got to tell you that's what it is. Yeah. But the challenge to you is whatever it takes, even if it's 5 minutes a day, the habit of doing it on a regular basis, just like going to the toilet, is really good for you, because it habituates your mind to expect to enter that state of mind at around about the same time. And it doesn't mean like at 8 o'clock. It means at around the same time of your pattern. So if it's as you wake up, it's as you wake up. If it's as you go to bed, it's as you go to bed. Yeah. If it's both, even better. Mm-hmm. And then you got to trick yourself to get into a habit. Everybody's got patterns in their world. I failed for the first couple of years to try and get a consistent practice. I learned all the bits of meditation, but I failed at getting a daily practice until I moved to the rainforest in Australia, and I took a crappy job, and I couldn't get it. Even though I had all the time, I couldn't get the pattern. I couldn't do it every day. And I wanted to. I had the best intentions, but I couldn't do it. And one day I'm walking on the beach, and I found a ton of black seeds from a rainforest tree that filled up a bucket. I brought them home, I washed them up, I dried them up, and I thought each one of these seeds is going to represent a day of meditating. And if I have a special insight, a special something, I'm getting gold pen and I'm writing a little gold star on it. And on the other side I'm going to put the date. So I tricked myself into collecting stupid seeds with little gold things on them and putting them on a bowl in my meditation altar, and I used pride, self-pride, as a trick to get me to do it every day. That did it for me. I have not stopped meditating since. Yeah, the trees are all run out of seed. No. I only needed that trick for about a year. And then the pattern was ingrained. It was done. So whatever it takes for you, think about it. What is it that's going to get you to take priority over meditating? Could be that. It could be something else for you. Having said that, I'm going to have a quick break, 10-minute break, and then we're going to go through the 8 or 7 point Varachana posture. Yeah? I'm going to say wide 7 or 8, depending on who says it, and we'll learn the steps of the posture at about 8:40. Yeah? No, 8:45, I say. So 8:45, is that right? 10 minutes from now? Yeah,
Yes.
10 minutes from now. Eat something, drink something, think while you want to meditate, and then we'll get right into class 4. Welcome everybody, enjoy. Those of you who are in the 108 Lives project and want to have a meeting, do it now, and we're having it here. Yeah? Let's go.